Hi guys, this is Allison from AllyKat Creations. How are you? Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you have yet to do so. And if you get anything from my work, I connect on epiphany, a mind explosion, a new book to read, a new author to explore, artwork to create. Please consider supporting my work. All the links are at the bottom of the description. AllyKatCreations211.com is where you can see all of my work and all the fun stuff that I do. And if you're interested in purchasing any of it, email me because that's the only way I go about doing my business currently. 3D memberships is a tier on my channel. It's another way to support the channel and keep me going and keep everything up. You guys get channel member only content. I do oracle readings for the mass population of channel members. I tap into the energy and I get what's going on that needs to be spoken to you from spirit. And I also do monthly giveaways, raffles. So channel members get a free entry into every raffle that I have. And entries start at $5 for just subscribers or anybody that wants something of mine. I have given away $150 pyramid, $80 gem skulls, paint and sip paintings, candles, all of the sort. So if you are interested in that, very soon I'll be announcing what I'm giving away next. But today's paint and sip, I'm on this, I'm on a kick right now. It's probably one of my spirit guides is the Phoenix Rising. It's an aspect thereof. And I'm going to do a Phoenix Rising today. And if hopefully all of you will entertain it, you will do it with me or do your version of what you would like to see. So what are you going to need today? I have my kitty cat Smock. I got acrylic paints. I got a cup with brushes in it with water. I have an easel, which I have to move. See, business card holders and gems. I have to stick this one over here. There we go. Easel, I like to work in my lap if I'm doing something on a small scale basis, but you don't have to. That's up to you. Um, you can get these easels at like Five Below or Michael's. They're not that expensive, but we know where I'm at. Most of you know where I'm at. I'm at rock bottom. So things that are given to me is what is used. People donate a lot of things to me, and I'm super, super blessed, and I have so much gratitude toward those people. So you're gonna want a canvas. It doesn't matter if it's gallery wrapped or not, but that's usually what I prefer. Your sip, whatever that sip is, this is water with lemon. It's good. Um, Before I begin, you also want Bounty or paper towel because when you clean off your brushes from the water, you want it as clean as possible. Also, because of copyright, I can't play music, but if you are doing this by yourself or in a group, you can put on some awesome jams. You can listen to a podcast, whatever. Don't do it in silence unless you're in a meditative state and that's what you want to do. Um, as always, you could do this in probably color pencil. And what I mean by that is don't ever think that you can't do something that's not a painting. I'm almost done with this, by the way. Is flamingos. You could get a lot more detail in color pencils, by the way. This is so my oil painting is way better than my acrylic painting. I don't know, you guys, some of you know my oil painting, but do whatever comes to you. This is not about perfection. This is not about the end result per se. This is about going within and relaxing and enjoying the process of doing different, getting different. Does that make sense? Um, don't look for the perfection in things, look for the actual experience that it's giving you. The ability to relax. It's a permission slip to relax. I hope so. For those of you that don't know, I have tobacco here. This keeps me sane, calm, and getting my breaths in. Not healthy, don't recommend. But I do pick it up unconsciously, subconsciously. So there we are. Um, anything else? So I was gonna do a reading, but I did a gong bath yesterday. I went to the Trinity Healing Center in Northwest Indiana. It was fantastic. Um, I needed it. It realigned me. My dragons came down. I have a lot of spirit guides. For those of you who don't watch my other content, I'm a channeler. I'm a way shower, spiritual woo-woo person. And I had a very, very profound experiences in that gong bath. The Phoenix Rising has been a theme that's been popping up in my consciousness. So I'm gonna just honor my spirit guide for doing that with this painting. So of course, we're going to do another dark background, but not because we want it dark, because the Phoenix is rising, illuminating from the death state. When we are born, when we are birthed, we are in darkness. When you plant a seed, it grows in darkness. And then when it's starting to come into fruition, that's what I needed. Sorry, guys. I got paint spilling everywhere. Um, you're birthed out of darkness. Many of the people in the spiritual community, or even it doesn't matter if you're in it or not, when you hit a very dark point in your life, you hit rock bottom, you're in the darkness, you're at the point where you fall to your knees and start crying and asking God or whatever you pray to for help and assistance, and you're done, and you're at the collapse point. I'm at my collapse point. Major collapse point. The phoenix rising out of the ashes is symbolic, but it also is a representation of the will of a strong human being. And it's one that I have cherished in all of my past struggles in life. And I want to impress that we all have this at some juncture of in our lives. We might not recognize it as a dark point. We might not recognize like the symbology behind our downfalls, right? Everything has a purpose and serves a purpose. Like I'm at rock bottom. My whole avenue of thinking is changed based on I already been here, done that. Okay, what is this showing me? What is this trying to teach me? How do I move forward facing extreme adversity? As no one is helping. And like I said, yes, I have to help myself, but I've been putting myself out there walking into places asking if they're hiring, and all I keep getting told is go to our website, go to the website, I apply, and I'm not getting anywhere. I'm getting rejections. Like, then the ego response would be, well, what's wrong with you? Like, there's something wrong. When I have other people read my resume to make sure I'm not a fuck up, excuse my French, I and no one has a problem with my resume. So what gives? Really, what gives? And how do you live life when you're in a high consciousness, when you know your soul's purpose, but you're still living in 3D and have to have practical needs met? It is very hard. And when like Chat GPT, I'm playing around with it just to be funny, tells you have to be in alignment. Sure, I've been doing a subconscious work for 2 months. Like, does it take a year? Like, that doesn't feed me in the now. So yeah, right. Everything is all about money. And I try to tether myself to the positive forms of that understanding. But mm, tricky universe we live in. It's changing, but it has to stop being painful for so many. So I'm taking a flat square. It's rather flat. This is not a large brush, but this is like medium large brush. And like the skull, if you watch the skull one, I'm just going in with some black. So the top of my painting, I want as black as possible. Because our phoenix is going to rest in some cutesy shit. Sorry, I'm very sassy today. Very sassy. Not trying to be, but I'm sassy. Got a lot going on in my life and a lot of things to figure out by the end of at the middle of this month. It's getting a little scary over here. I'm going to mix some dark purples in with the black. Because in reality, what we're going to be doing, so I put a dark, plummy, it has a chemical name. I don't like these chemical names to colors. I like I like when people can associate and understand color. Even though it's a dioxine purple, let's go with plum. Excuse me. Um, Plummy purple. And we're gonna mix that in with the black. Um, some acrylics are more on the water-based. When I say water-based, meaning you're going to be seeing canvas. You see that you're going to see brush strokes. Okay, guys. So just to let you all know, it is Mercury retrograde. We're in 4 different planetary retrogrades. And a lot of us are feeling it chicken dinner style, but we're not savoring the taste. We are like feeling it and like it's bad. We're not happy campers, some of us. I put some red down there. Some paints are their quality is, have vibrant colors, but when it shows up on canvas, and also it's not just the paint's fault, it could be also the quality of the canvas, the gesso that the company uses, it might not be the best. It doesn't absorb so much, the paint. So it's like slapping paint on, slapping paint on. But I hope you're seeing like what's happening down here. That is on my paintbrush. So you want to keep going in with your paint. See how it's subtle? It's not overwhelming. Like, yes, it looks like when it first goes on, but when you're blending it in, like it's subtle. It's not dramatic. It's not overwhelming, too intense. Okay. let this dry. Because then we're going to map out in white the phoenix shape. So the phoenix is going to have some wings and it's going to have this big tail. And then we're going to put some like stuff coming up. It's going to look fantastic. But, and this is all from my brains, but let this background dry. It's going to make it's going to make everything pop out because our dragon is going to be yellows, oranges, reds, and some purples. So it's going to look fantastic. At least I'm projecting that, by the way. It's going to look great. So let this dry. You'll know when it dries. It's hard to see, unfortunately. When you have wet canvas, when you put it to light, you'll see it's really shiny. And when it's not so shiny, it's drying. And when it's completely not too shiny, it is dry. You can also, put your fingerprint there and make a little signature of your fingerprint there. So make sure this is dry before we go back into the white because we don't want bleed over. And you want your phoenix to look as crisp as possible. In the meantime, the paintbrushes that you're gonna want to use, this is all watery, you want to use it's a long, fine tipped paintbrush. Smaller tipped. You want to use your smaller paintbrushes. That one's garbage. Now, if you don't have these, get the smallest one that you have. It doesn't need to be some crazy paintbrush. Just your smaller paintbrushes. It's going to help navigate the painting. Next, you're going to want to prepare your white paint. And also the oranges, reds, purples. Black we can put over here. So you want to get a lot of that out and prepped. I wouldn't pour it just yet because you don't know how, depending on your environment in your house, like humidity, if you have a fan going, if you have a heater going, wherever you are on the planet, and whenever you do this, like the humidity and the air conditions in your house will determine how long it takes to dry. So meanwhile, sit, listen to some jams, and I'll see you in a little bit. Welcome back. Your canvas should be dry. Should be. I'm going to take a small, you see it against the chair, paintbrush. I will bring this closer so you can see. So what you're going to do, a bird's head, it's like an oval. It's like a V to an oval. We're just giving it some hair. V, sideways, oval. And like any dragons or birds with long necks, we're going to make a big S. I actually want this more pronounced out. So we're not painting color anything yet because when you're painting on black, you're still seeing a lot of the black and the purple and the red that is infused. So we're just making the shape of our phoenix. If you look at shapes, break things down that make sense to you. And most of the time, letters, if you're no letters, you could do painting. Because things just break down in shapes. If you wanted to, you could use a bigger brush to paint in the middle of your phoenix. I'm just being lazy. Before we get the down, so we're going to start it over here. And we're going to do the wings. So what are wings? We're going to start, this feels right. Right, I got to steady my hand, guys. Take wings as I want to start on the tail. I didn't complete like the whole end of the bird. I'm picking up just a little bit of a for time thicker brush here. Right. To save some time, literally all of this down here, besides the few little strains that I posted here, is going to be white. So all of this is going to be filled in with reds, oranges, yellows. So I know that looks like a crazy, but when we come back in to it, and we might add some more wisps. We're going to add a lot more, but in the meantime, Let that dry. And again, it doesn't need to be perfect. We're going to add a lot of different colors in there, so it's going to pop. Um, but if we see why I did the white first, because if we put yellow, we're going to have to sit there and keep doing yellow millions of times. The white will help bring out the color in your painting. So let that sit there. Think about shapes. If you're having trouble, just look up an image on Google. It'll help you with shapes. Just go with the shape, go with the flow, and don't, again, expect to copy someone's artwork, make it your own, make it unique, and make sure you're sipping. This should be dry. I am now adding yellows. I have like a lemony yellow and a little bit of a deeper yellow. Just making sure you guys can see. Hmm. Now going with that macaroni and cheese. So although some of these are not going to be yellow, yellow, they'll have hints. I'm just going to start adding some orange. Blending it in. So I'm just filling in some of the areas with the orange. You just want to keep going in and blending in the colors the best that you can. You still want the yellow to come out because what is a flame without the yellow? If anybody hears the cicadas in the background, that's a real thing around here. Heavily annoying. Still a part of nature. And yes, they're still shooting off fireworks, and that doesn't end until who knows when. I'm gonna wait a little bit for some of this to dry. So I still have some purple to add to this. We're not gonna let it sit too long because we're gonna layer. Because we need it to look like wings. We needed to give some flow. But that's as much blending as it's gonna get. So make sure you are sipping. Breathe out any stress. Don't let this stress you out. That's not the point. The point is to have fun and to be imaginative and to enjoy. So we're gonna let this sit for like a minute or two, maybe three. Um, and then we're gonna go in with like a nice deeper purple and like get some of these like areas like figured out. And then we'll put some swirlies and I don't know, I might surprise myself with something different. We'll see. But in the meantime, make sure you are sipping, you're enjoying, you're listening to amazing music, and just going with the flow. Just go and bring color down. It doesn't need to look flamey. It's not supposed to look like the flames that everybody draws in their 1980s notebooks. It's love with what comes out of you. Allow the process. Don't force it, just allow it. And make sure your brushes are soaking. We'll be back. Okay, guys. I'm taking that very thin paintbrush. I'm just sweeping up. Now I'm using like a darker purple here. And I'm gonna also bring in the light. And I thought I poured some light. And I didn't. So I'm just putting in some little pieces of purple here and there with some white. You're going to put the purple however you want to feel where the purple goes. Use your intuition. Where does it feel right? Where does it feel wrong? And just go with that flow. There is no right. There is no wrong. I'm going to go back in with some red. Just want to make sure the colors are blended a little better. I'm not using white so much because we want the yellow to stick out. We don't necessarily want it to be super white. Um, when you're painting, one of my professors brought this out. He's like, you don't want the white. Everybody uses white as a highlight. Why don't you use other colors to do the highlighting? And especially because we're a phoenix is like a celestial beauty here. I want its head a little bit bigger. So we're going to go back. So all I'm doing is taking and pulling the paint down. You just want to pull the colors and mesh them as best as you can. Okay, we are going to go back into it just to touch it up a bit. Because I want to change the color of the head. I just needed it a little darker, and we need detail, but we're not there yet. So down here is just the ashes and the fire and the breath of life sparking in. Your head's still going to be wet. I'm just putting light. I'm just going in and doing white highlights, which when you blend it in creates that very soft light yellow. I'm putting dots. Stars. Portals. I'm just mixing up the different colors. So there's contrast. Still don't like the head. Curious. Yeah, that's a lot better. Well, there you go, guys. Phoenix Rising. I hope you enjoyed this. I gotta go finish printing that side. Oopsie doodle. Haha. And this bottom here. So because this is gallery wrapped canvas, you if you don't have a beautiful, let's just say, frame to put it in, frames can be expensive, they could be cheap, you can find them at a junk sale. Do you, boo? Do you authentically? But if you don't and you want to hang these things up, you don't have to worry about a frame if you get the bottom. And again, it doesn't need to be perfect, but when it hangs up on the wall, you want to make sure though it looks spiffy. And there you guys go. So I hope you enjoyed this paint and sip, the Phoenix Rising from the inner flame. How about that? We'll name it that if I remember. So guys, for cleanup, I might reuse some of this paint in a minute on something else, but you can flip this over and literally it's on a pad. Make sure you wash your brushes. Put everything away and let this sit and dry. It's going to take a bit because we did layer a lot if you were doing what I was doing. But always make sure you let this sit, and then if you want to put Mod Podge or another type of finish on it so that it doesn't get ruined, that's on you. I like to paint my sign my name on the back of my canvases. Um, I'm no Ross, okay? So Sending each and every one of you love, light, compassion, grace, shielding, and protective energy. Please go within, be the shoulder, be the lighthouse, seed your truths, light that path forward. And thank you for watching. I hope to see you guys on the next one. Let the phoenix rise and let the death end and the ashes go bye-bye, and let's renew and rebirth. Bye for now.